You are listening to the Tracy L. Clark Show with me, Tracy L., where I'm going to empower you and teach you how to live your extraordinary life. Tune in every Tuesday, 8 a.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio, where I combine ministry, science, and spirituality to reveal the steps you need to let go of your perceived limitations. Have you had the limiting self-talk over and over? Have you noticed you allow your fears to hold you back? If you're truly ready for change, I invite you to join me, Tracy L. Clark, and start your journey of transformation now. Welcome back to another episode of the Tracy L. Clark Show. Of course, I'm your host, Tracy L. And the number one question I get is, Tracy, how do I stay on my spiritual path? How do I stay connected to the God consciousness energy? My world is busy. I am going in a million different directions. I forget. I get stressed out. I hear this all the time. We get distracted. It's so easy. So I just want to let everybody know, we always have multiple outlets in the TLC community to help you stay connected each and every day, no matter how it works for you. I'm known as a body regeneration specialist, but I'm also the creator, the founder of the TLC community of extraordinary living. And you find me here on Transformation Talk Radio. We also have YouTube to help you each and every day to grow and learn. But if you check us out at tracylclark.com, we have created multiple online programs, daily programs, weekly programs, monthly programs, whatever you need to not only stay connected to the God consciousness, but to increase your awareness and take you from unhappy to unhealthy. You know, I know that one really well. I had to spend the first 8 years, I've been in the field for over 16, but I spent the first 8 years repairing and restoring my life. And I know what it's like when you go, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. I don't feel connected. I'm panicked. I'm stressed. I'm depressed. I've been there, done that, all my own. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about today, and it is a call-in show, so you can call in. I wrote it down because I always forget. 1-800-930-2919. 1-800-930-2919. We're going to take
Tracy,
your questions.
Sorry, it's 1-800-930-2819.
2819. Oh, I'm glad you corrected me. I wrote the wrong one. Okay, I took it off something else. Our bad. 1-800-930-2819. So let's correct me. Thank you, Carter. We'll get them to the wrong place. So one of the things that, so call in, let's answer your questions. And, you know, we just did a Reclaim Your Life transformational weekend. And one of the women, she came up to me and she's constantly in pain. And she said, Tracy, I don't know what it is. I've been here for 2 days and I have no pain in my body. And she said, I'm almost worried to go home because I've experienced no pain. And she lived in pain. She lived in suffering. And one of the things that our bodies are always telling us is what needs to change internally or externally. A lot of times our physical pain, and I said to her, it's time, because she loves her family dearly, but they're all going through a lot. And they leave a lot of their responsibilities on her to deal with, right? But she has her own stuff. And so the weekend showed her that it was actually time for her to set boundaries and to really communicate with her family. I love you, but we need to change how we communicate because it's making me sick. And quite often people don't even realize that they're getting sick because of the environments that you're placed in. We have to start to remember, we always look at our bodies externally, right? Like, oh, I'm going to run to the doctor. I have an issue, or I'm going to go out there. We got to look inside. A lot of you may know this or may not, but a lot of our dis-ease, which you've heard maybe before, maybe not, comes from emotional imbalances or instabilities that sit somewhere in your subconscious. So people hear me say this a lot. Your brain is there to keep you safe. Your body is there to do exactly what your brain tells you to do, even though it may not be what you want or what you expect. So her body was reacting to her environment. And when she got into an environment that was connecting her to the God consciousness, keeping her strong in that space for 2 days, the body was at ease. The body could let go of all that pain, that is a miraculous way of living. So then the body starts to seek more of that and wants more of that. But it also showed her it was her external environment that was causing the internal pain. And I want to ask each and every one of you, where in your life have you just thought it was maybe something outside of you or outside your body? And when you start to say, is this an internal issue or is this an external issue affecting my body? You can very, very quickly start to turn the energy. And as we move the energy through her body, she was feeling it. She was feeling lighter, but no pain. We also had a lady that she was like, I have not smoked since I got here. I have no desire. I have no cravings. This is what spirit does when you start to connect to the God consciousness. This is why we've created what we have. And the TLC community was named by our souls, just like you, not me, even though those are my initials. So it was quite cute. But it was about connecting on a whole other level, feeling it instantly, because we are done the times of really spinning your chakras and fluff. Like that happened. It had its place. I say it's kind of like 1980s. I got my leg warmers out and half we go. We've really got to step it up now and become extremely in tune to our bodies and in tune to what's happening. So that's where I wanted to start with you guys today. It is all about you. It is a call-in show. So check us out at tracylclark.com. Lots of stuff online. If you have health issues, I believe it's April 3rd or 4th, go to the body regeneration page, 4 weeks online, 8 hours of me with you live. You get replays every Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern, where I'm going to shift the energy behind your issues. I'm also going to tell you what is going on emotionally so you'll know what to do. And you can ask, you can bring your loved ones in and ask what's going on with them. I love this. We teach you and empower you because you got to be able to go out each and every day. This is the problem with most methods. You're not empowered. You can't walk away and do it right away. It's complicated. It's hard. That's not what we do at tracylclark.com. All right. So Carter, we have our first caller. We have Dawn, correct?
Yeah. Dawn from Nova Scotia. Welcome to the show.
Welcome, Dawn.
Hi, Tracy. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Can you hear me? Good. Do you have a question? Something you'd like us to move or shift for you today?
Yes, I feel I'm really struggling with finances right now, and I do feel it's this massive internal block or something. I can feel it, but I don't fully understand it.
Yeah, okay, so I'm going to start to open you up because what you have, it's more coming up vows. So if you understand, so vows are things that I vow to do that for you. I vow to marry you. I vow to, when people say that a lot, right? There are things like vows and oaths, and you also have a hard time charging for what you do properly. So that means charging for what you do properly, also bringing the energy in. And when I bring money towards you, your body literally gets repelled. Like I want to actually go throw up. So can we remove that for you? I don't want you sitting in there.
Awesome.
Yeah, there seems to be a bigger expansion too of people you meet and how you connect with other people for what you do. You're very connected to the God consciousness. You have a very strong connection, which you probably already know. But you can see that's very good. But it's like the vows you took, basically, we say it in other lifetimes and other spaces that are interfering with you, and that would interfere with your whole family. So I'm just going to thank that hand of God of actually removing the vows. We also say oaths and agreements. So it's just a matter of anything that you even said, I agree to that. So people don't even realize when we say, I agree to that verbally, it creates like an energetic karmic tie. And then the body looks for it. Yeah. So let's get rid of this because we need to make sure everybody has a good financial flow because it creates stress, right? We don't want that.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's release that. Let's put your family all together here, and then you to your business and your business to you, and then you to your career to you. I'm just going to line them all up. It looks like it is time for some expansion, and the body's like, I don't quite know how to do that right now because we're just trying to make sure that we make our ends meet. It's also sitting in the left side of your jaw. There seems to be a lot of energy that's creating a block and a resistance there as well. So let me start with that. How does that feel in your body now? Does it feel lighter?
Yes.
Yeah, you're really
energetic shift there.
Yeah, it's going. Thank you, God. And I just want to thank that, God, for you of actually just speaking in and imparting that it's safe to have like I call it supernatural prosperity flow, but it's safe to have prosperity flow. There's also some information in your field that you can see that's coming up that you don't want to be seen as greedy, but it's not about being greedy. You need to have an energetic exchange for what you do. And you're good at what you do. And if there's not an energetic exchange, there's an issue. So there's a whole bunch of, that's religious programming. So that's where that comes from, right? It's like, if you have a gift, if you're good at what you do, you shouldn't be charging. And then people use it as a crutch to not go to your service. You can feel all that manipulation in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I remove that for you out of your program? Thank you, God.
Please.
Yeah, I'm going to start to remove that. And it's still hard for the body when I start to bring in the prosperity flow. There's just a little bit of rejection, but what I can do is remove that accumulation out. It looks like it'll sit for about 48 hours left in the field. And then you'll have this strength of, oh yes, I feel better. And really, you've got to look at what you're charging. And I would also I do a great tool. It's on my YouTube video if people can't see me now on the Facebook Live. But basically, you tap your heart and you say, thank you, God, I release, let go. And if you do this 3 times, it also releases blocks, resistance, and hesitations that have been created in the field that are running in your subconscious brain. So things you're not aware of that are pushing things away that you want. It's a great tool. People use it all the time. So that feels a lot better. So that looks like there's more clients, more people, the flow will come easier. So if you feel tested, you just take it. Say, thank you, God. I'm just taking that. That's mine. And it is yours because you're allowed to struggle in my space when I went through it, when I learned it, when I learned to break it off people, and how the God consciousness breaks that off is not a pure God light. It's always struggle comes from a lower vibrational energy, but it was a huge vow you took about I'll be in poverty, and we're going to get rid of that. Okay.
Oh, thank you so much, Tracy.
You're welcome. That feels better. So let us know what transpires. Just email us at contact@tracylclark.com. Okay.
I will. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dawn. Have a great day. Okay, Carter. You said Laura on the phone.
Yeah, Laura from Ontario. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Laura.
Oh, hi. Hi, Tracy.
How are you?
I'm really well, thank you. I'm really fantastic after your weekend workshop.
Yes, you were there.
Yeah, I'm still buzzing from it.
It's good. Lots of changes, lots of shifts.
And I just like to a testimonial in the sense that the last 5 years, I've really come a long way, and I'm breaking through, and my connection to God is even stronger and stronger. And I'm so grateful for your community, because I don't know, I would have veered quite off of you and been stuck in some big valleys if I hadn't had the support of your community. So thank you.
Well, you're welcome. And I think too, as well, you've dealt with some extremely major challenges in life with family and friends. And those are the hard ones to really, that's what's it, to stay connected, right? That's when the valleys get hard. And then we turn to things that are not good for us. And we think that we've been forgotten about, and we think we're alone. And if that's the message that it feels you're trying to let people know, because you have come through so many breakthroughs and reclaimed your power. And really now you have great boundaries and people can't cross them. And I think that's one of the biggest blessings anyone can have with a big heart.
Exactly. It was. And it was really hard to make those boundaries. But when I did, it just felt so good. And the support of the TLC community and you and being in the Miraculous program just really
helps.
Kept me going. Because I wanted to just throw in the towel a few times and just say, screw it.
Well, and that's one of the reasons I created that program, is when I did my journey, I was alone, and I was so alone, and I didn't know what to do. And it was really hard. And I said, God, I want to create something. It took 2 years to release the Miraculous program. Even though it may look simple to you, it's not, because it is live 5 days a week. And I said, God, I want something so people don't feel alone, so they have a community. So there's so many things in that to allow people to connect. And I'm glad you brought that up, because it is. You're on your journey and you're like, no one cares. No one understands me. I feel different. And where can I go where I can still really connect to the God energy and really understand that how I connect is important. And it may not look the same as you, and it doesn't have to look the same as you. And you don't have to use all the tools exactly how we say, and you get to connect the way you want. I think, is that the biggest thing you noticed, like that you can actually use the information I give and shift it your way so it works for you?
Yes, I really find that happens because when I volunteer at the hospital and I give patients treatments, it's supposed to be Reiki, but I do body regen, but it's just sort of channeling whatever comes through.
Yeah, and
it moves faster.
I'm glad you said that, because I think that's the biggest misconception. If people have trained in any kind of energy work, what happens is they end up channeling more the person that created the method versus going direct to God. And when they go direct to the God consciousness, you can pull in whatever you want and it'll work as long as you're staying connected and clean.
Absolutely. And I'm just so excited. Like, I have no idea, like, you know, I'm just sort of breaking out of this old paradigm. It's still kind of on a few little threads, but I can't wait for it to be gone.
And please understand, and people listening, that it can happen where you're like, the paradigm isn't completely shifted. But if you have, especially children in your home that you've struggled with a long time, which Laura, you have, and they still live with you, or you may have, you know, family members that you're still working through, that can create a shift. And I think that's one of the biggest things that if I can remind anyone is be gentle with yourself and look at the incredible shifts and things that you did take action on and celebrate those.
Exactly. And it was hard for me for a little bit there, here and there, to remind myself and to remember that, right? Because sometimes you feel like, oh, fuck. Sorry for swearing. Okay. Everything looks the same, right? Like it doesn't like, oh, you know, but when I think about it, I've actually moved a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm really,
becoming empowered who we are and understanding how to do that, because so often we don't know. You didn't know, I didn't know, and we learn it. And I think the best thing is that when people say, how do I get the shift? It's about research. It's about improving your skills. And it's about really declaring that you're first, you matter. Because if anybody here can really just tune in, I want to shift this for you guys, is that you have to live in your body every day. You're not going to escape yourself. So it's up to you to make yourself happy. It's up to you to be connected so you never feel alone ever. And I just want to thank that hand of God of going in and imparting to each and every one of you to start to reclaim what is already inside you so it can expand bigger, so you can receive more information. And that's where you'll find that the tiredness will go and the frustrations will go and the impatience will go. And this new way of living will just start to transform. And that's what I call reclaiming your life. Laura, if you could leave one little message for the people that maybe, you know, are listening, that you say this was something you wanted to leave them with, that was a big change for you, that they can celebrate in your testimonial?
For me, it would be to finally have more faith with myself and my connection with God, and to know when something really triggers me and gets me angry, that I do the reset thing that Tracy was talking about. And it just sort of moved it right out of the way and brought me right into my connection again and out of that space.
Yeah, that's an really incredible tool.
Yeah.
I was like, thank God for showing us. And I know since we use it every day, I use it every day. And if you haven't checked it out, you can go to my website, tracylclark.com, hit the YouTube, and it's literally, you'll see the videos up there. One simple tool that you can do to change your life now. So thank you, Laura. Thank you for calling in.
Thank you, Tracy. You too.
All right. If you'd like to call in and have something shifted or removed or a testimonial like Laura, we celebrate in the testimonials. You can call us 1-800-930. And I believe Carter said 2819. 2819. I had to rewrite it on my note here. 2819. I have two numbers. I'm like, Tracy, why didn't I scratch that out? So give us a call. We're gonna bring Melissa in just quickly before we head to another break. Melissa.
Hi, Tracy.
Hi, welcome.
Thank you. Oh my God, I'm still going from the weekend.
Oh, yes, I know you were there. We had a lot of participants at the weekend. It was one filled weekend.
Yeah. I'm sorry?
What would you like to share? What would you like shifted?
Oh,
This is your time.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, like, it was just incredible this weekend. And the way I look at my future now, it's just so much more clear than prior to the weekend. I mean, I've been doing work with you for a while, and, you know, I've been up and down. And just like coming this weekend and being a part of that was just incredible for me. And I didn't feel so alone anymore. It felt amazing to just be like part of something. And I felt so much love.
If listeners can understand, this is why you guys find communities, and we're going into other cities for workshops and stuff. And you never ever partook in anything that was group work before.
Yeah.
You were afraid.
Exactly. I was so afraid, like even up to the weekend, I was so afraid. And, you know, I was even talking to Christina about this, and I'm getting a little more anxiety, and it's like, I knew it was coming, and I knew it was time to change. And that was scary for me. And, you know, it was tough for me. But then I was like, hey, I gotta just let go. Like, spirit just came, and I was just like, hey, just let go. And I also really felt my dad's presence there, and, you know, him pushing me too. And just like, it was really tough for me, but I did it. Like by Sunday, you saw me, I let go of so much, and everything came out.
I want to ask, how are those levels of the body and the anxiety feeling now today? How are they feeling?
Feeling better. Yeah, a lot better. Like, honestly, like my shoulder pain has like gone down so much. This whole weekend I had no pain in my shoulder at all. Like, I had no headache at all. I've been very prone to headaches lately, but nothing at all this weekend. Like, even today, I feel tired still, but other than that, the worst thing is exhaustion. That's it right now. But other than that, like, I feel like I'm more motivated to like go to work today. Yesterday, I actually had the day off, so it was perfect. I could recover.
Great.
Yeah, just other than that, I feel great. Like, I feel like I'm just like, even yesterday, I was like laughing more, like for no reason. I was just like giggling yesterday. And I'm like, what's going on with me? So,
well, and this is what we want people to understand, because when you're letting go, there was also a resistance. People will say, oh, I don't want to go to the workshop. I don't want to be around people, or they don't want to be in a community. I don't want to be around people. But the resistance is literally that, keeping you held bondage within your own body, your soul, your spirit. And that comes up, and the anxious comes up because the body knows it's going to have a release. The body knows it's not going to hang on to this anymore. And the tiredness, usually when anybody does any kind of work that's intensive like it was, and we had a lot of fun. Yeah, because we have a lot of fun. It's not all like, it's not heavy, but it's when you have a lot of fun. Yeah. Would you say that, how would you say, like, I always say no fluff, no chakra spinning. It's my thing. Would you confirm it wasn't fluff? Because I'm so tired of people thinking it's fluff.
No, it was no fluff. It was like, you know, it was no fluff at all. It was honestly like, I just went in there and I was like, whatever happens, happens. I was really afraid. I'm like, oh, this is so hard. But honestly, it was like no fluff. It was amazing. I have no other way to describe it. Like, just, it was fun. It was, you know, obviously, like when I was releasing stuff, it was tough at times. Yeah. But like, even the time on, was it Sunday, or when we were doing the dancing, or just dancing, it was so much fun. Like, everybody was just like, you know, having this time of their life. And I'm so shy, and I'm like, I can't do this. Like, I can't dance in front of people. But then my body was just like, just go, you know, like, just do it.
And I think that is so beautiful, because this is what happens, guys, when you're very connected to the God consciousness, you're in the energy, the body comes free. And the thing is, you're not going to leave. You don't leave and then it's you know, going to come back. And one of the things you said, Melissa, which is, I didn't know, you hadn't relayed that to me. I was talking about somebody else early at the top of the hour, that you didn't have pain during the weekend. You felt free. And that's because your body was being soaked in the spirit, in this realm of just letting go and no judgments and just being able to be free. But this is where people have to understand, when you go back into your environment, this is where you look and say, what in my environment now needs to change? Because I went into this environment and was completely pain-free. I was completely supported. So where in my space, this is your next step, where in your space, and you can see it, Do you need to make sure you have that support, lean more into that, and start to put boundaries and lean out of that don't feel supported? Can you see that now?
And that was always something. Yeah, and that was always something I struggled with. And I was just gonna say that, like, all my life, even though I had family love and I had friends that did me wrong too, and I never felt like I was good enough to be part of anything. Yeah. And just even though I'm part of the partnership group and everybody was amazing in there, but meeting them in person was just like on a whole new level. Like, you know, we only met online, and then like you just, you know, like this was my first time meeting a lot of people in person. So it was just incredible. It's like, wow, like they like me, like I'm part of something, you know, like, wow, like I don't have to be afraid here. There's like no judgment whatsoever. And it was just an incredible feeling. And finally, for once in my life, I feel like, you know what, like I do belong, and there are people out there that care about me, and they do love me. And also, I just wanted to say too, even after like this whole weekend and even the work I've been doing with you, like even my connection, like with my family, my mom, my brother, my sister-in-law, like we're becoming like stronger. So that's becoming a lot better as well. So, and, you know, with a lot of up and down with that too, but, you know, our bond is getting stronger now.
And that's beautiful for people to understand. When you make yourself a priority and you make a shift, everything else in your life will shift. People will come with you. You're not going to have to toss them all out. People think that in the spiritual realm. You don't. They will come with you once you learn the right tools. Thank you, Melissa. I'm so glad.
Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you. You guys are so lovely.
Thank you.
So we are going to take a quick break. And then when we come back, we do have a few more callers on the line, and we will continue to sift and shift you. But remember, it's time for you to step up. Reclaim who you are. You have the knowledge and the power to do it. We always are there to support you. And once you really stay connected to the God consciousness, it's your relationship. It's how you form it. No right, no wrong, and no judgments. That's how you get the shift. We'll be back right after the break. Welcome back to the Tracy L. Clark Show. You can call in 1-800-930-2819. Carter will let me know, our producer, if I got that wrong. We're here to help sift and shift you energetically and keep you connected to the God consciousness so you can actually reclaim the life you know you're meant to live. All right, Carter, I think you said we had Evelyn on the line?
Yep, Evelyn from Toronto. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Tracy.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So I have a couple of things. Actually, I want to give out a shout out to your weekend. There was something that actually happened that I was not 100% in tune. I think it was more so someone asked for something, but I will say that I kind of piggybacked on her request, and you highlighted my resume.
Yes.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
And I have an interview actually with somebody tomorrow.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. You guys, one of the things, I'm going to highlight this again for you, and we're going to line it for you. How beautiful is that? I love the testimony. This is how fast Spirit's working, is when we are in those workshops, no matter what anybody else asks, or even if you're online or any programs, if anybody asks anything, you get it too. So now that you're highlighted, let's align you. What time's your interview?
3:30.
3:30? Okay. It's always important. So I'm going to line you up, and we will strengthen you. We have a lot of people right now that have been mentioning they got jobs, and yeah, you can piggyback on everything, and you can take anything you want.
That's what I found absolutely amazing, because even though I didn't put up my hand or I didn't ask for the request, to your point, I piggybacked off of someone else. So whenever you're listening, you're piggybacking off of everything anybody's asking for.
Yeah. So what happens is when you always hear me say, Spirit will give you exactly what you require and more, right? So when you're in that space of intentions, and I say, no matter where we're doing work, if you're always in the intention of, okay, I have this going on, and Spirit knows what you got going on, right? So it's like, you're like, I need that. I would need that. And then you start to get that as well. And that's that overflow that's coming in. And so I'm just going to make sure we correct everything up here and make you very strong and to the time. That's
Beautiful.
the bigger thing. That's the bigger thing.
I do have a request though. For whatever reason, on my left side, my lower back, I don't know if it's sciatic or what it is, but it's been acting up ever since Sunday night. So it could be
it's shifting, and that's the lower left. So I'll just pull that out. That's that shift that we did at the end of the workshop. So we did this program at the end of the workshop where actually physically move the bodies back into alignment. So everybody had a chance to experience that. So it's just moving. So I'm just going to remove a little bit of the nerves and anything that would be perceived. So getting on your nerves, that was not from the weekend. That was older information that's trying to leave your body. So that's like past residual information. So when we opened up the entire hip area, which a lot of people don't realize they can do that. Now you know, but let's open this up a little bit more. Thank you, God. And I'll just remove past, I can feel that now. Okay, so we're just going to move past irritation and inflammation out of the body, and I'll just pull that down for you, and then we can recalibrate. And I'm just going to actually put a little bit of flexibility into your hip area. Everybody listening, you're getting this too. Every time somebody calls and I work on somebody, you're getting all the shifts. And just like we were saying, right? You didn't put hand up for resume, but you got the shift because you needed it. So anybody else that is getting ready for interviews, then you can have that as well. Why not? You just say, I'm taking that shift, and you have the intention to take it, and it drops. So there's a little bit in the muscle, actually, in the back as well, that I'm just going to relax for you too. And then that should pull that down. So let's start to feel better, and we'll just reset that. All old inflammation. This can sometimes happen when you've had that much work done. That's when you let us know, and we just clean it out. Oh, burp that one out. Okay, good. That's how I don't hold on to energy. For anybody listening, it is just how I don't get sick and tired and can keep shifting. How does that feel a little bit now when you tune into it?
A little looser. Thank you.
Yeah, it's going to move. So it actually shows you do a few stretches. It should totally let go.
Beautiful.
Well done. Well done. Thank you for calling in, and thank you for coming this week. And I know it was your first time, and so brave and in the group, and so lovely to have you in a full weekend.
Thank you.
All right. Have an incredible day.
You too.
Thank you. Okay. So you know what, body, we're talking about the body. If you want to call in and have something shifted, 1-800-930-2819, wherever you're changing locations. Our body is so powerful. So what we were just talking about was, when we move the body back into alignment, deeper memories were starting to come out. So she had pain that came out, right? There was old trauma, old information. Sometimes when we get pain in the body and we've done something that's good for our body, we panic. We go, oh my gosh, what happened? That's painful. And that's a conditioning that I right now want to thank that hand of God of releasing and letting go for each and every one of you. I want to let that go because it's a conditioning that if I have pain, something's wrong. What about if you have pain and it's not that long? If it's chronic pain, it's a little bit different. But if it's just all of a sudden you've done something good, you've shifted your body, you've had some awareness, and the pain comes up, all it's telling you is things are letting go. That's again where I use the reset tool, and you hear me do it over and over, but you hit the heart. It's thank you, God, release, let go. Thank you, God, release, let go. I usually say it 3 times. Thank you, God, release, let go. And you can just do it through the brain by that exercise. And so many people are like, I am calm, I am centered. But again, it's a very fast way to say to the body, I acknowledge there's some pain. I acknowledge that I don't really need to see where it's from, and I want to let it go. Let it go. All right, Carter, you said we have Sheila on the line.
Yep, Sheila from Toronto. Welcome to the show.
Oh. Hi, Sheila.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, thanks. I have a question about shifting energy and being open to receiving.
Yes.
I came out of an unhealthy marriage a while back and decided to take a year off online dating just to go inwards and kind of do the work and get myself ready for a healthy relationship. And that turned into a much longer journey than I ever expected. But I believe I'm at a place now where I'm like in a healthy headspace and I'm ready, to welcome love back into my life. Just questioning if I'm actually open enough to receiving that.
Yeah. Okay. So a few things. This is, as you know now, you say, I'm just keep going. It's just a way of living. It's your new way of living. So there's always going to be little things that'll come up when you shift your energy, right? There's always going to be little things that'll come up. You've come a long ways. Absolutely. Your heart space is actually becoming a lot more open to receiving. There's a few little blocks. I can start to move them out around fears of would I still actually, do I have a vibration, or would I still attract something that is not exactly what I'm looking for? But I can move that out actually quite quickly. There's two things to say with the key. One is to make sure that you continue to keep growing. That's just the way people say, how do you keep growing? It's the way of life, right? You use a tool, you do whatever, you acknowledge something, you let it go. You never sit in something that is holding you back. The other thing is I'm going to let go of all the accumulation of old paradigms of what you're expecting, because that will actually open you up to starting to attract a stronger vibration of a man that's actually caring. And I don't mean sensitive, like when I say that word, a lot of women will say, like, is that like a guy that's like really in his feminine? No, it's they're able to actually, they're strong, they're centered, they're balanced, they've gone through their own stuff. And it looks like you have new people coming in. So meaning that the frequency and the energy of the new people are very different from what you've experienced. So this is what I tell to people when this happens. You have never experienced this kind of person. So your brain, as you know, is there to keep you safe. So the first reaction may be, I don't know if I'm super attracted to them, or I'm not sure. And you might feel the body is a little bit hesitant. A lot of people in the intuitive space will write that person off right away because they're like, well, I just wasn't feeling it. But what's actually happening is, the reason I say to people, if it feels like that, go on a couple of dates, is because that frequency is something you have never experienced. So when you experience something you've never experienced, the body can have resistance. It really can. So that's the part where we're releasing the blocks, the hesitations, all that accumulation. So I want the awareness that as there's like 2 or 3 people here, as they start to come in, you will know that, okay, I might be resisting a little bit, but let me go out, because they are all a different frequency. All a different frequency. The other thing we need to remove, is it looks like there's some timing around this that we can move out. But the key, they keep showing your heart. So it's like, keep connecting, keep seeing what is important to you. I'm going to release this for you. Keep letting go. Keep asking, what else am I walking into? This is a great day. How more can I create? Like, all those questions people always ask. But it's like, thank you. Yeah, they need the gratitude there. So I'm seeing 3 different things. I'm like, slow down. Okay, so thank you, God, for bringing in the person that, is right for me, which you will know, you will feel. And we have to just do a little bit more heart repair. So basically, there's still old information of hurts and pains from the past relationship. So I'm going to move that out, because that can actually still create some vibrational shifts, which could bring in, which I call tests, the ones where you're like, oh gosh, okay, I still got to do some work. I got the wrong one, right? So someone that wasn't aware. So let me move that for you, because you're ready now. So that can go. You're always ready. I never think that when we say work, that it's not like heavy. It's not like you have to go through heavy work of, okay, what do I have to get rid of? It was, you have a clear understanding now. Okay, you to your ex-husband, your ex-husband to you. You have a clear understanding of how he served you, why he was there for you, what he gave to you, which was more empowerment, bringing yourself back to who you are. You can also see you're starting to love yourself, whereas before it looks like you were more in the submissive camp, like you didn't, with him, he sort of always was overriding everything. So that looked very adjusted, very nicely for you. So thank you, God. Let me remove this for you, because that's done. That pattern's done. The new person is also done. So they're already in the field. And that's another thing I want to reset on your heart, is to strengthen your system. Thank you, God, to know it's done and they're on their way. And when I say that, there's still a little bit of doubt. All that is it's like, I can't see him yet, right? So let's remove.
So I'm worried that there's good people crossing my path. And to your point, maybe I'm not accustomed to that energy. And so I'm dismissing it. Because
that's exactly it. Yeah. No, you're bang on. So now what I'm doing is we're opening this. We expand your perception. We open the eyes. But what I'm doing is also, as I move this information out of the heart, your heart drive will become more expansive. So it'll be like, oh, I see you and they see you. And then you can start that interaction. You will actually notice it fairly quickly. And there's that information will start to come where you're going to notice different men. So even if you're out and about, you'll be like, wow, I noticed him and he was looking at me. This is the energy that starts to move. Whereas before you more had still the blinders on. It was like, I don't really see anybody, even though you wanted to see somebody. So, and then also, but they all of their energies are very nice and strong. Like whatever, if they did have anything in the past or they have attachment still, because you have kids and ex people, it looks like they've sort of cleaned that out themselves already. And that is actually really good. That means that's the vibe you're putting out.
Fabulous.
Yeah, that's the vibe. You're welcome. So let us know at contact@tracyoclark.com when you start to have more fun in the dating camp.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Sheila. Have a great day. You know what? This is what I love so much. Quite often we think that we've done something wrong or we haven't achieved certain things and that's why that person hasn't come in. One of the things I want to remind everybody is I call it building your foundation. I do this with a lot of groups. And quite often, if we don't look at our own foundations or we have fears or something, we are the person in our own way, right? So she even said it. It's like, I'm not paying attention, or maybe I'm not looking for that kind of energy. Because when you shift your frequency and you shift your vibration, that's how you attract new things in. But strong boundaries are needed. And then your awareness needs to change. The awareness of the patterns you were doing is gone. So now your awareness needs to change and become more expansive, which happens naturally in your field. So you can actually go out and say, all right, this is already done. Because everything in your field, absolutely everything in your field is already done. You have a map, you have a blueprint, you've had a way of actually already setting up your life. So I always like to do this exercise where I say to people, go through all the people in your life, go through absolutely everyone. And if you have any, anger or you have resentments or you have any issues left, ask yourself, how did that relationship serve me? What did it do for me? Oh, I'm so sorry, my kitty. We are always live. He comes up and he just pounced in. Cloud's our mascot. But how did that person serve you? And if you can ask yourself, how did they serve me and what did they do for me? You will start to get clarity and that energy will move out of your system. So I'll use my own relationship as an example. When I left my relationship, it was very dysfunctional and I was very unhappy and there was a lot of issues going on. And my body was sick. I didn't feel heard. And it was pretty intense. A lot of anger, a lot of stuff going on. When I actually left and I went through my journey and I looked back and I'm like, how did that relationship serve me? I was in there. I created it. I attracted it. I agreed to it. So how did it serve me? And the ways it served me when I looked back in truth was I wouldn't be here doing what I'm doing today had I not gone through that relationship. I wouldn't have learned to create boundaries had I not gone through that relationship. I wouldn't have learned to stop being a people pleaser and to speak up had I not gone through that relationship. That relationship was a complete reflection of my entire life. It was a reflection of how I lived. It was a reflection of what I knew. And it was a reflection of how my brain kept me in the pattern to keep me safe. So even though I said I wasn't happy and I didn't like it, I knew how to function in the dysfunction. I knew how to function in the dysfunction. So how many of you are in relationships or in jobs that you're like, wow, I'm actually here because I know how to function in it. I'm afraid to leave. And I get that. It took me, a long time to finally leave my marriage. I'm afraid to leave because I don't know what's on the other side. And so I don't like this, so I'll just stay. I'll keep going. I had this happen with my health. I had to be pushed to the end where it's like my body was hanging on. And people would say, with all those physical ailments and all the trauma, well, how would they serve you? And I said, they served me again that I couldn't do today had I not gone through all those physical ailments from birth, because I had to learn what was the reason that they kept showing up. Why did I have it? Why was I born with it? Why did they come later? And I started to realize where the information was coming from. I was able to piece it together. And all of my health ailments allow me today to work with thousands of people to release their health ailments and understand and teach them the energy behind it, because I had to learn it first. So you see how all my physical issues served me. All my pain and suffering served me. But it was only when I said, how is this serving me? How can I let it go? Which that's always the action step that you hear someone else say. They're like, well, what's your action step? You can't sit on your couch. You can't swirl the purple light. You can't sit there and say, oh, thank you, God, bring me my perfect man. It doesn't work that way. They're not going to drop through your ceiling. They're not going to knock at your door. That's not how it works. It's about what in you needs expanding. What patterns are you strong enough to let go of? Thank you, God. We'll do this for you right now. We'll start to speak this into your body. And I want to thank the hand of God is speaking and imparting into your body some supernatural breakthroughs to bring you to the new realms of living, the new realms of seeing your life, the new realms of being, the new realms of connecting, so you can actually go into an expansion process of who you are. And this awareness, as we strengthen this awareness in your field, you will now be empowered, motivated, and uplifted to make the changes that you need to change, to create the reality you want to create. And it will not be easy. It's not just going to magic wand and there it goes. When I had to leave my marriage, it wasn't easy. I had to uncouple the blueprints. We had to sell the house. We had to decide what to do with the kids. There was some angry moments that came up because obviously he wasn't getting the outcome he thought he had. That wasn't easy. And I will tell you though, when you have the tools, it can become easy. It's funny, on our weekend workshop this weekend, we had an easy button. One of our partners brought it because I always talk about easy. You should get an easy button from Staples. They sell them. And every time you go to do something that's a little bit hard, hit the easy button and it says that was easy. But if you hit it, it sounds silly, but it reminds your body that things don't have to be as difficult as you think. But when you uncouple old relationships or old careers and have an awareness about who you are, an awareness of what needs to change, you will move through that time that might seem so difficult with more ease and grace, and you will have more skills, more tools, and more knowledge in your own toolbox and more connection. So you see the signs, you see what has to happen next. But if anyone tells you that you're just going to sit there and meditate, it's not going to happen. If you're just going to sit there and swirl purple light and you're all better, it's not going to happen. You need to get really connected with who you are, get connected with the God consciousness, feel it, and bring in the holy beings you like to work with so that you can become more empowered and you can see. Because you live in your body every day. You have to deal with your body every day. You can't escape who you are. And you also can't use just positive thinking and affirmations, because what that does is pushes the energy in the field. And it becomes a mask. So all of a sudden what happens is that energy goes down deeper and deeper and deeper. The anger gets suppressed. The frustration gets suppressed, and you were given all these beautiful emotions to deal with them. And it just goes deeper and deeper and deeper. And that's one of the things, please know, a positive affirmation is fine, but if you're using it all the time, but not dealing with the root cause, thank you, God, I want to shake the root causes of things you guys may be going through, that you're like, I need a supernatural breakthrough on this. Thank you, God, I'm going to pull that in for you and reset your systems so that you can have the awareness of what that next step is. You can have the awareness of what your body's telling you. And no different than our callers today, have the space to say, wow, I went there, I had no pain. I was happy. I felt loved. I felt connected, and see how their bodies just soaked it up. So where are you going in your day that's creating pain in your body? It might even be your own house. Like I said with when I was talking about the first lady, it may be your own house that is creating the pain in your body. So what do you need to do? Let's shake that foundation. Let's open you up to new ways of seeing how you can create new boundaries to have more harmony in your living environment. Because that environment, thank you, God, should be the one that is always safe. So again, I encourage you, thank you for staying with us this hour, for calling in, for letting us shift you to opening more awareness. It's what I do to help you connect to the God consciousness, to reclaim the life you know is waiting for you. It's already there. It's already done. The promises are made. We just need to open you up to more and to understanding more of what's inside you that you forgot. And this is the biggest thing I see with everybody that I touch and work with. You just forgot. You forgot it was all inside because all of that misinformation and envy and jealousy and greed, thank you, God, will remove that out of your field. Got in the way maybe from other people, other places, and other things. So I want to encourage you, check us out at tracylclark.com. We have monthly programs under the monthly partnership. You will see it in the header. We have body regeneration, April 3rd or 4th. You'll have to double check on the website. Just click Body Regeneration, where I'm going to spend 8 hours, 2 hours every Wednesday. If you miss a call, no worries. You get a replay to teach you more little tools that you can go deeper to reclaim your own life and health like I had to, things that I had to learn, and to also understand what is the emotional issue behind the physical issue that you or your loved ones are going to. So I want to thank you again for tuning in. And I hope you'll join us next week where we'll have another episode with Tom Palladino talking about scalar energy and how it can be used to help you eradicate viruses out of your field. So thank you again for tuning in, and we'll see you next week on the Tracy L. Clark Show. Thank you for listening to the Tracy L. Clark Show with me, Tracy L., where I teach you how to live your extraordinary life. Tune in every Tuesday, 8 a.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio, where I combine ministry, science, and spirituality, revealing the steps you need to transcend perceived limitations. As a remarkable leader and pioneer in my field, I, Tracy L., will provide insights energetically and the tools required to move you forward. For more information on my partnership program, check us out at tracylclark.com.